Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Morning Leap session for Tuesday, November the 8th, 2016. It is election day, so going to be a long trading day. It's going to be a lot of rotations today as news come out and perceptions change on where the election is actually going. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live sessions to go through and take a look at the market macro to micro, drill down to the structure of the market, our trade levels, our targets, and what our hypotheses are for the day. We do create multiple hypotheses in order to have a plan in place for whatever the market throws at us. We do not try to bend our plan to the market. We let the market come to our plan. Please, if you're interested in checking this room out, it is a subscription service. Send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. Read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, taking a look at yesterday. Hypo 2 was in play, and then we flipped to Hypo 4 after we broke above the daily ATR. Hypo 2 was an open auction, out of range, a failure to get back into the prior day range or take out the overnight low, and then rotate up and move our way up into our key target above, which was the 2121, and chop around there. Hypo 4 was the same thing, but trend day pushing up into the 2133.50. We didn't quite get to the 33.50, but the fact that we got into the 30s and the fact that we had that late day close at the high and a trend day, I consider that we actually played out Hypo 4 for the most part. But Hypo 2 was was the main hypo throughout most of the day as we chopped around that 21 area. Let's take a look at the news today. You can see that it is election day. So we have a presidential election, congressional election in the U.S. We do have some news. The Canadian building permits came out rather negative. Previous was pretty strong, and they came out -7 and only expected -5.6. Housing starts came out less than prior and less than expected as well. 10 o'clock, you've got Great Britain NISR GDP estimates, and then you've got JOLTS job opening. 11:20, you've got Governor Council member Schembri speaking. Other than that, it's all going to be about the election today, and this will carry through right into the Globex session. In fact, it'll probably get even wilder in the Globex session as a lot of the polling stations come in and we start seeing how the election is going to shape up. Let's take a step back and take a look at the macro to the micro. I always like to start my day with a simple candlestick chart. Start on the monthly, work my way down. I use a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. I'm looking for slope and separation for the strength of the trend, where the trend is being challenged, where we're getting continuation. You can see beautiful trend up multi-year, challenge at the end of last year, beginning of this year, then they move up. Look like they're going to continue to trend up. They come back down and test, violate the trend, or challenge the trend by breaking below the 9, and then they immediately bounce up on the news on the weekend from the email scandal not being moved forward with the FBI on Hillary. And currently right now we're trading just above the month open. Remember, the month open is 2123.50, so we remain in a positive month. We are still looking for the possibility on the monthly of this, and I was calling it a falling 3. I'm sorry, this is a rising 3 pattern. I labeled it wrong. I always think think of falling three because the falling three here, but this is a rising three pattern as possible setup. If this candle right here turns out to be a candle like this and we close above the high here at the 91.50 and just can get a continuation pattern, and then we can measure this as it sets up. But it hasn't set up completely yet. But we are holding the 9 and the 20 right now and do have a bullish month going on as long as we hold a point above where we are right now. Hold on one second. Losing my voice. On the weekly, we were starting to get a start of a downward trend. We're coming up and challenging that trend right now. 21.2675 is the 9 EMA. We want to see us get above that and come up and challenge the 21.4350. So if we get above the 9 EMA, that would be your main target. Or you could use the naked cross here at 36.50. Either or, that was where I'd be shooting for, especially if the market reacts well to the news if Hillary wins. On the daily, you can see that we gapped up on Sunday. One of the largest gaps I've seen, in my trading career. Did not even come back and test it. We opened and then we went down to that 21.0275. Did not challenge the 2100, and then we were up above the 9 and the 20. But we're violating the downward trend that we had. We just need to hold the 21.22 1/4. If not, I'd be looking to come down here to the 21.1350. And there's lots of possibilities that we'll see some tests lower today based on news as it comes out of the election. Going to the intraday, you can see we have a very strong trend going up. There is a naked cross down here. Down at the 2092.75. That would basically be the return to the scene of the crime where we gapped up from, and a move to come down and test this this high. The naked close is all the way down here at 2081 1/4. So if we start coming back down in this area, we still have an open gap down here, but we have a range gap right now that we have to pay attention to. And I'll check the flex level to see where the mid of the range gap is. I think it's somewhere right around the 99.50 to 2100. But the overall trend is up. We did get a technical gap here, but it looks like they're closing it through time rather than price. And I expect that that'll probably be closed somewhere in around the 21 area and back to where we were holding, trying to hold value before falling out of it here. And we'll take a look at that on the composite chart in a minute. Going to the 30-minute sideways consolidation with a slightly downward skew, possibility of a start of a downward trend on the 30-minute. We're below the 9 and the 20, so we are seeing some weakness coming in. Our 15-minute, you see that accelerating. We tried to get back above the 9 and the 20. We failed off of the 20, got back below the 9, and we're getting continuation down and started a trend. We do have a naked cross above still at 21.2750, so mark that down on your chart. That is within the 3 time frames that we look at for intraday naked crosses, the 30, the 15, and the 5-minute. But the overall trend right now is down. But if we get above the 21.26, I'd be targeting that 21.2750 as a high probability move. And then on the 5-minute, you can see, we tried to start a trend to the upside. They failed. Tried to get back up again, failed. Tried again, failed, and now we're getting a move down, and we're coming into the RTH session with a slightly downward skew on the 5-minute. Taking a look at the structure, we're right back here at a very important level, the value area low of the longer time frame trend. Actually, I'm going to bring this candle in now and see how that affects it. It just barely affects it. So you've got the month open at 2123.50, and now you've got the value area low of the longer time frame value area and microcomposite, and we're fighting that right now. If we can't hold, then we got to be looking at this right here. And this is the last price that they tried to hold just prior to getting the breakout and the failure to hold inside of value. So this is going to be a very key line for us today, because if we can't hold that, then we're likely to come down and test these lower areas and come down into our key line in the sand at 2109.25. I'm going to adjust that slightly down to the low from yesterday at 2108, and anything below 2108, then I'm expecting a move down in to test that 2100 area down there. So just we're at a crucial point. Hold on one second. Okay, and if we hold the 21 and we bounce back up above the 24, the key target above is still going to be this microcomposite VPOC here at the 2133.50, and then I'd be looking for the possibility of continuation up. We've got some undetermined fair value up here at 35.25, 39. And the 27. So 27 is your immediate target above the value area low here at 23.25 and the open of the month at 23.50. So that's your first target, and then a little bit of resistance at yesterday's high, or just above yesterday's high at 2130.75. That is our Globex high, and then anything above that, then we're coming up into that 33.50, and I would expect that would be a good target if we do get above that 30.75, and then look for that continuation up through this undetermined fair value and testing the other side of it up here at that 43.50, and that 43.50 is our key line in the sand above us. Anything above the 43.50, then I'm targeting the longer time frame balance, okay, and that's all the way up there at that 53, and coming back into the longer time frame microcomposite. The 53 is the most traded price going all the way back to 07, 08, and the gap up from this area down here that we spent most of the beginning of the year down in this value area, and centered around the composite VPOC at the 2035.50, which is the most traded price going back to 2013, beginning of that year. So those are the key levels on the composite. Let's take a look at the overnight. Of course, yesterday was a trend day, so we're not going to pay attention to the value area. Value area has got little value because we were in a trend, but we do have this distribution with a couple LVNs that I'm going to be paying attention to. There's three of them. There's one here at the 28.75. There's one here at the 24.75, and there's one here at the 18. Our overnight high is 2130.75. That's basically 2 ticks above yesterday's RTH range, and then our overnight low is down at the 21.25, right near that 21.21. And our VPOC is not likely to change at 21.25.75. We did get a a 21.25.75. We did get a VPOC shift yesterday after I shut down these sessions. Remember, you still have to update whatever levels are changed at the end of these sessions going into the RTH session, because there's usually about 15 to 20 minutes that we could see a change. Other than that, we had a decent, it's not really pretty, but it's not a bad Gaussian distribution. So they're really accepting. We've got good kurtosis here at the 25.75. It's a fairly decent Gaussian distribution, a little messy right here. And there's no real LVNs to lean against. And the value area high is 28.75, which is right here at this LVN right there. So I'm going to be using that as a trade area. And then that's about it, that the overnight session. The overnight inventory is neutral to net short. So we have to pay attention to where those shorts might get squeezed. And I think it's going to be around the 21.2875 area. So let's get rid of, I didn't want to get rid of that one. I want to get rid of that one. And then we can expand this out here. All right, so we're currently trading at yesterday's VPOC, so we're going to be opening inside of range, inside of the main distribution. Of course, that overnight low at 21.22, 21.25 is going to be our key target, and right below that, I'm going to use the VWAP from yesterday at the 21.20.50, because if it doesn't hold, I'm expecting a move down to test this LVN from yesterday at the 17.75. And I'm actually going to just encompass that 17.75 down to the 16.50. Below that, I'd be targeting this HVN at the 13.25, and then our daily ATR, 20-period ATR in the daily full session is running at 20.24. So off of the overnight high of 30.75, our daily downside ATR target is 21.10.50, with the open just below it at 09.75, the key CLVN at 9.25, and of course I'm going to be using the 21.08 as my key line in the sand below. And below that, I'd be looking for a bigger move down, and the first target is going to be the 650. To get funded. And then I'm looking for the sorry, it's 2103, 21, no, it's going to be 2100. There's not much down here, so I'd be expecting to come down. You know, I like the 0250 and 0350 as auxiliary targets, so I'm going to split the difference there and use the 2103. I know I've been using the 2103.50, but 2100, and then below that, then we've got the 98 naked VPOC, naked close at or naked VPOC at 95, and then we're into filling in the gap. That's what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at the gap fill. So let's find our flex levels. Where's my flex levels? There they are. All right. And we don't have the gap in here. All right, so let's just figure out where it is. We've got the below 2102.75, and we've got the high at 20.94.25. Our half gap fill is at 98.50, and we've already got that as a target for good reasons. All right, so put in the 98.50. And that is our gap mid. Okay, and then we have all our levels all down here that we've already got. Our upside daily ATR target based off of the overnight low of 21.21.25, if it doesn't change, where are we trading, 23.50, is all the way up here at 21.41.50. So we're going to be opening up in range in this middle distribution. You can call it in value, although it is a trend day and I don't pay attention to value areas on trend days. So I'm looking for an open auction in range. I'm looking for fairly decent rotations on the open. My main hypothesis today, and again, as news comes out, it's very difficult to have a key hypothesis today because of the fact that it's election day and perception is going to be changed throughout the day. But my main hypothesis is we gapped up, we're coming up, and I'm looking for continuation. So my main hypothesis is an open auction out of range, a rotation down to test the, take out the overnight low, test the lower side of this distribution, somewhere between 21 and 16.50. I'm looking for responsive buyers to step in and start working our way back up, chopping in the 28 area and then pushing through up into the key target above the microcomposite VPOC at 33, chopping in here and then getting continuation up into 41. That is going to be my main hypothesis. And this has to do with the RTX session. I expect to get range extension tonight in either direction based on the election news. So Hypo 1, open auction, in range, a move down, testing between the 21 and the 16.50, maybe even a little bit further down, but finding responsive buyers and working our way back up, chopping at the upside between the 30 and the 33.50, then getting continuation up into the 41 and 47, maybe even a push into 53 on a late day probe. Hypo 2 is an open auction in range, a push up, a failure to break out of the 21.30 or a false breakout, and somewhere between the 30 and the 33.50, a responsive seller stepping in and getting the opposite, moving us down through here, taking out the overnight low, coming down, chopping in the 16 area, and then pushing through down into the 21.10 to 21.08 with maybe a late day probe down to test the 2100s, maybe even into these two naked VPOCs. So Hypo 2 is a open auction, a move up, failure or a false breakout, and then a move back through the range, chopping at the 16 area, pushing through, chopping at the 10 to 8 area, and then pushing through into the 21 and coming down to the mid area of the gap and this naked VPOC, maybe even a push down into the 95. Hypo 3 is going to be balanced into election results. So Hypo 3 is an open auction in range, a day of rotation with inside, maybe even just slightly outside of the range from yesterday, but balancing, okay, and tightening and compressing coming into the election, okay, and then getting the move in the Globex, which will be fairly explosive based on the results of the election. I would caution you guys to get some rest at some point in time today, and I think there's going to be some good trading action. So Hypo 3 is a inside day or just slightly outside day and testing both sides and just getting rotation, and those rotations starting to tighten, okay, and finding balance into the close of the RTH session and waiting for the move to be made in the Globex session on election results. Hypo 4 is an open auction in range, a push up, break out of the prior day range, push up into the 33 to 35 area, get a strong move up, and just a trend all day as the news starts coming in, and the perception is that the election is going to be won by Hillary, and we just get a strong trend day up and a move up into the other side of that balance around the 53 up into the 66. I think this is lower probability, before the Globex, but I've got to put it in. And there's going to be a Hypo 5 alternative, which is if Trump starts showing that he's got some strength and the race is going to be tighter than everybody expected, then I'm looking for a trend day down and a take back and a fill of this gap down here. So I'd be looking for an open auction in range, failure, okay, at the 21, failure to hold the 21, push down to the range low, chop around there, and then get the continuation wave down into the 2100s, and then failure at the 2100 and push down towards that naked close down here that we gapped up from on Sunday night, down in the 2180 and back down to this area right here, and coming back into this, this larger distribution zone that we were in most of the beginning of 2016. So those are my my hypotheses for today. It's going to be a long day, so don't waste all your bullets early and not be able to take advantage of the volatility that's going to come in during the late day and the election results. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.